Tonight, more fallout from the stunning draft leak showing that appears to be the conservative justices on the Supreme Court set to overturn Roe versus Wade. Local lawmakers are vowing to fight it.
And Governor Newsom and state leaders say they are pushing forward with a state constitutional amendment to protect abortion rights. KCAL 9 political reporter Tom Wade is here with the latest.
Hard to believe it was just 24 hours ago we were learning these new details, and things are moving pretty fast. So Democrats are now planning for what they expect to be the worst case scenario, the end of Roe versus Wade. Meanwhile, Republicans are more focused on who leaked the draft ruling and defending the court.
I want to say to all the women out there, abortion is still legal.
Stunning words to hear from a congresswoman in 2022, but words Pasadena Congresswoman Judy Chu felt she needed to say Tuesday night in the wake of the draft opinion leak that would appear to overturn Roe versus Wade.
But my thought was, when I read this opinion, that it was shocking. It was stunning. It was a 5-star alarm because millions of lives of women are at stake.
The fallout from the draft leak is playing out across the country and in front of the Supreme Court. Chief Justice John Roberts confirmed the draft decision published last night by Politico was authentic. In the draft, Justice Samuel Alito wrote, "It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives." The opinion stems from a case that went before the Supreme Court in February, challenging Mississippi's ban on abortion after 15 weeks. President Biden called out the conservatives on the court, saying if the draft stands, it would be a radical decision.
If the rationale of the decision as released were to be sustained, a whole range of rights are in question.
Republicans defended the high court.
The integrity and independence of the Supreme Court is once again under attack.
Senator Mitch McConnell, one of the primary architects of the draft decision, having helped push through 3 of former President Trump's conservative nominees to the Supreme Court. Democrats say undoing Roe may be just the beginning.
I think what's next is going to be Obergefell, which is the Marriage Equality Act.
If Roe is overturned, more than half of the states in the country would either ban or severely restrict abortion rights. In California, reproductive rights are protected, and Governor Newsom, along with other top state legislators, now say their next priority is a state constitutional amendment to keep abortions legal in California. The governor released a statement that reads in part, "We know we can't trust the Supreme Court to protect reproductive rights, so California will build a firewall around this right in our state constitution. Women will remain protected here." Representative Chu says she has a bill to help protect women's reproductive freedoms, but it can't get past the filibuster in the Senate.
The Women's Health Protection Act, which would put Roe versus Wade into statute.
Chief Justice John Roberts called the unprecedented leak egregious and vowed to press on with an investigation. An official ruling on this issue is expected sometime in the next month. So we'll see what happens coming forward. But yeah, that is expected in the next month or two.
Then we got more questions here.
Sure.
If the court does make this official, Tom, where does, that put the state in terms of where women will have access to
Right,
abortion?
exactly. So what we'll see then is 13 states will have what's called a trigger law, and that would ban nearly all abortions if Roe is overturned. 13 more states are poised to outlaw or restrict the procedure, so this can happen very quickly once the ruling comes down.
All right, we will see. Time is ticking.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you, Tom.